my student friends are also joining, and there is a YouTube also available. Maybe within couple of minutes, Malhar, we will start. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Still 33, I think we need to give some more time, is it?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Maybe couple of minutes, and we will.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think I 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, Mahesh here.
Hi, Mahesh.
Hi, Mahesh.
Yes. Hi. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for this webinar. Excellent topic.
Thank you.
Malhar, will you check whether you can share the screen?
Yeah, I'll check.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
You may need to give me access.
Okay. I've given you the access. You can check now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it is visible, right?
Yeah.
Very much.
Very much.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I think we should start. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon, friends. And let's start with this webinar. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me first introduce, and I'm very happy to introduce Malhar Kulkarni, who has completed his BTech in Instrumentation and Control in 2002, and then he completed his postgraduate in 2005. Since then, he is working for various organizations like Wipro Technologies Pune, John Deere, TCI Pune, Eaton Technologies. But currently, he is working with Schindler India Private Limited as principal engineer. He has close to 15 years of industrial experience in embedded system design and development, executing and coordinating mission critical projects. He has worked for driving new product development as well as proof of concepts program. He has industrial experience across elevators, automotive, and telecom domain. He is certified Scrum Master and DFSS Green Belt certified. So far, he has 1 provisional patent, 1 trade secret which is in process, 6 disclosures, and 2 papers. Malhar, we all are quite excited about this webinar, and without wasting much of the time, I hand over this session to you, and please continue, Malhar. Thank you so much, Malhar.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the introduction. Hello, all. On behalf of Intake Olympiad, we just welcome you for this webinar. Here we will try and see what is ideation and what are techniques associated with it. So we'll just start deep diving into it. So, before we start, I had a couple of requests for you. One is like just sit relaxed for students. Just sit relaxed with no pressure, no thoughts about your submissions, documentation, anything. Just sit calm and focused. We'll try and do some creative and interesting activities which will help you to deep dive in your problem or project, whatever you are right now doing. So keep your problem statement constantly in your mind while we discuss the techniques, and keep relating the contents of the webinar to your problem statement. So just be in the flow, and we will see like how we can make it more effective. And last request is just like hold on your doubts till the end so that like we'll take it collectively once we finish it. So the aim of this webinar is like to enable you all to have more questions and ideas, because somewhere we were feeling that the feedbacks were coming that our feedbacks were showing that the students are running short of questions. So we want to enable you with more and more questions. So more and more questions will bring more and more ideas. Then we'll see as some technique how we can mature those ideas. So every idea cannot go to field. Every idea cannot be converted to a product. So how we can mature a specific idea that is coming to our mind, and then we'll see how we can evaluate the designs or ideas and choose the best one. So if we come up with say 3, 4, 5 solutions, how we can evaluate those and how we can come up with the best one to go ahead. So that is the aim of today's webinar. Let's see how we will go about it. So typically, I hope this is visible to all this everyone. A little bit like the font is a little small. So
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So in any product development or in any software development, or maybe like say we can say software development life cycle goes through these phases. So one is requirement phase, second is design phase, then there is an implementation phase, testing phase, deployment phase, and then after deployment it goes into maintenance phase. So any product will go through these stages of development. So right now we are into like requirement and somewhat in a design phase. So today's focus will just be on first and second phase of this development life cycle. So just we will be in that 2 phases while we will discuss today. So what is ideation technique? Why ideation is needed? Like so this is product design thinking is a process of problem solving and creating solutions. And Scamper technique, this specific technique was first discussed by Bob Eberle in the book of Games of Imagination. So just imagine that this technique has come from some games for imagination. So this is a quite interesting part of it. So there are some thought-provoking questions which we will be using, which we will be asking to the underlying product. Then we'll find out the answers to it. We'll see if those are viable answers, viable solutions, and then we will pick up some good ideas to explore them. I understand that this diagram is not that much visible to you, but on the next slide, I will be discussing all the details about it. So the Scamper is an acronym which is made from substitute, combine, adopt, modify, put to other, eliminate, and reverse. So all these keywords combined together makes a Scamper. Now, how these keywords are going to help us to create new ideas is like we are going to ask questions to underlying product if there is no underlying. So now there are two things, like maybe students would be working on some underlying baseline product and they are working on to improving some or other part of it, or some students would be working for quite a new from scratch project. So there would be some time for come to substitute in that case. So what substitute says? Substitute is like we'll see to the product and check, can we substitute something in that? Can a material can be substituted by some other material? Can the process be substituted? Can the ingredients be substituted? Is there a set of rules? Can this set of rules can be substituted? So this substitutions would bring us new ideas, will bring us some solutions for us to turn around the complete product that is there. Same way with combine. So we'll go in details to each of these on the next slide. So here we'll discuss. So there are set of questions. There are 100 questions. Hundreds of questions could be there. I have just tried collecting questions, and I have put in one document in there. So student can utilize these questions for them when they will go in depth of analyzing underlying product. So what is substitute? So when we say substitute, can we substitute some material, some processes, rules, ingredients? There are number of examples. So I would take examples more so that we will get connected to it. So what substitute can give us? So if we see that a smart mobile phone, maybe few years back, not too much far back, but hello.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah. So some time back, there was a back key on your mobile phone, but now that has been vanished. So there is no back key now. The key itself has been replaced by the software. Now it goes into substitute. The software has substituted the hardware. So that is the substitution. Now that has saved a lot to the smartphones. One back key and millions of volumes to it, that substantiates to a large amount of money. Take an example of materials. We know there were glass bottles for the cold drinks in some time. Then it changed to a plastic. Now we are seeing the Tetra Packs. So material is changing. The same content is same. The material is changing, and it is adding value to the product. Now we get attracted to the Tetra Packs. Changing the material of smartphone, like we know, even like Nokia phones used to come with heavy metal, and now they have changed to lighter and durable material for that. Same thing is with process. So if we see that we have substituted process from cash to cards, and now we are substituting it from cards to apps. So the processes are also changing, and those are adding values to it. So the products are becoming more and more appreciated just because of change in this process. Ingredients. Now, if you go to hotel, the tomato soup that you are eating is not coming from fresh tomatoes. it is coming from tomato sauce. So that is how they are changing the ingredient. Now they are very safe. The tomato sauce can withstand on the shelf for a year, and they need not have to have fresh tomatoes every day. So change in ingredient have helped them do the business easily. So this is what is like substitute is about. Again, can we combine some ideas? Like say there was just one mobile, and then it got combined with camera, and then it got combined with MP3 player, and it has got combined with lot many things. And now the mobile is like every time we combine it with something else, mobile becomes more featureful. It attracts the customer again. So every time it comes with some combinations. So very famous example we talked about. Then there are like some creative examples we can discuss about, like wash basins with flush tanks. We wash our hands and the water goes into flush tank. So we are like, this is like a solution, bathroom solution we can say. So the sink is connected to the flush, and this flush tank and sink tank connected together, becoming one product. Spoon at one end and fork at another end. Very simple product, very simple innovation. So we have one end at spoon, another end at fork. Now all these are ideas which needs to be even further taken through another tools and understand the limitations with it, positivities of it, like how much values they are going to make out of it. First we used to use just a pencil. Now the pencil started coming with rubber at the rear end. So now the pencil is just not a pencil. So this example I'm taking out of your project, but you have to keep thinking about your project. Every time a keyword that we are talking, just try and correlate it to your project. So substitute what you can use, how you can use substitute element to your project right now, or how you can combine some more ideas to your existing product or existing idea or existing problem statement. Can you combine something else to it? Same thing is with adopt. So best example is like, I don't know this in your generation, have you used this roll-on deodorants? But this roll-on deodorant were like adapted from the idea of ballpoint pen. So when ballpoint pen is used, the ink comes out of the ballpoint pen from the nib of a roller that is moving in there. Same idea was adapted for the roll-on deodorant. Facebook was created for laptop, then they adopted for the utilization on mobile phone. Many more, like computer fans. If you say that computer fans are developed by adopting the owl's wing design. So the fans, those are running in your laptop, below the laptop, or near your computer. Those are designed with the owl's wing design. Robotic hand, it is completely imitating the human hand. Or seat belts coming with inflatable air. So they are adopting that inflatable air technology to the seat belts as well. So that is how like adaptation of other product, other ideas to your product, to your project baseline can help it to improve, or can it make a wow factor to it. Modifying, like how we can modify it. Best example of modify is maximization of modify. Like say, if we say maximize, the best example is limousine. So until yesterday, it was just a car. When they go for maximizing the car, it become a limousine, and then it attracted a separate class of people. So it is like super extra rich people. They are it become a like status quotient for them. So if then when they maximum, even best example today's scenario in India, I would say that Bahubali Thali or Ravan Thali. It is a maximized, magnified version of the unlimited thali. If you used to eat unlimited thali for 200-300 rupees, but now you have option of Bahubali thali, which will start from 1500 to 2000 rupees, and they have enforced you to come with 5 to 6 people. Now they have different way of increasing the business. Indirectly or directly, they are increasing their business. You are coming up with 5-6 people, or otherwise you are coming with 2-3 people and then packing that food which is literally not needed to you, but then you are taking it to home, and it is becoming a big, huge success. You go on crowded roads, you will at least see somewhere there is a Bahubali thali they are coming out with, right? So laptops is again a best example for Minify. So we were having like screens, keyboards, CPU different. Every element was different, and then they minified it, and then the minified out version came as a laptop. So that is how can you minify? Can you minify something in your product? Can you maximize something in your product? It should always create a value for you. So modify feature will may create a value in that case if you really make it working there. Put to other use. This is very interesting thing. Like say we just touched upon laptop. Laptops were not meant to charge mobile, but now every day we keep our mobiles charging with laptop. So we have kept like put laptop to another use. We have enabled that part. Indian Postal Service, best example, like Indian Postal Service was just meant to like person to person like postal letters and all, but then emails and SMSs and WhatsApp have killed the Indian Postal Service. And then they put it to the other service. Now they are authorized logistic partner with Amazon. So now there is a corporate connection to Indian Postal Service. This is like turnaround for them. Now the business is different. So can we put existing product to some other user? Best again one more best example is Hawkeye. Hawkeye technology everywhere used, and we know that cameras were there on the ground very like early 70s, 60s, 70s. Nowhere, no one think about like with the help of cameras we will measure the trajectory of the ball, will measure the speed of the ball. Cameras are not meant for measuring the speed of a ball, but now with multiple cameras they are doing it. They have put it to the another use, and now that camera as such is getting utilized for measurement of the speed of a ball. Everything that is west to best is an example, best example of like put to other use. Whatever you do from west to best is a put to other use. So think about the product that you are working with. Can you add another customer to you? If you have something, you know that what is your customer base, but can this product be of use for some more customer, some another customer base? So it will open up a complete Pandora box for you, and it will give a lot of ideas if we can think of having more like same product utilized in another domain. So again, eliminate. So can we eliminate something from existing products straight away? Cost saving. Can we eliminate something? Best example about is like McDonald's. So McDonald has a big story about Scamper, how they utilized it. They have used Scamper, every Scamper mechanism for their shops. So in the eliminate section, they literally eliminated the waiter, and they made customer to be waiter. Now you go to McDonald's, you stand in queue, you give your order, and then you take your parcel, and then you come to your seat and you eat it out. They have saved their money, and we feel like we are going to McDonald's and we are standing in queue. So this is what this McDonald's has done with elimination technique. Nissan Pure 2 is like Nissan has launched just one electric vehicle. So it has eliminated the reverse gear. So they have their cabin itself rotating 360 degrees. So can we eliminate? Can our existing product have some chance? And there will be. So some option to eliminate something. And see, these are the questions we will, means once we go out of this webinar, you will be starting asking these questions to your underlying product or underlying problem statement. Can I eliminate something? And can I make someone else or something already existing that to use for the part that is eliminated? So customer was already part of the process. So McDonald's made that customer to work as a waiter without notifying or without making it a like customer feeling that he is a waiter, right? Noise cancellation headphones is something like they are eliminating the noise from there. Last is like reverse or rearrange. Again, there is a best example from McDonald's. They have made you pay first and then eat. So far, the like food industry was working like you go inside the hotel, you order it, you get it, you eat it, and then afterwards you will pay it. But they reverse it. They reverse the process because they have already eliminated the waiters. So now you have to go, you have to pay first, then you have to order, you have to stand in queue. So they have reversed the process of payment. You will not eat first and then pay it. You have to pay it first and then you will eat it. So can we do this? If we can reverse something in our project line, even can we reverse our underlying product, some process in the underlying product that can literally create a value for us. Bank failure, like again, a very irritating problem for all of us, like banks calling up for credit cards, personal loans. This is a perfect example of reversing the process. They are not calling you for the FDs. You have to follow up with banks for FDs, but for credit cards, they reverse the process. And then now they are creating a lot of business from there. So they daily they call hundreds and thousands of people and they create a lot of business in there. So can we reverse and rearrange something in the underlying product? This should be the question this should be the question we should ask to the underlying product. So these questions, this set of questions will create a lot of ideas in your mind, and those ideas will see how we can even take it further to validate, like how we can mature this idea. How can I validate this idea if I can take it even further for the design? So even before that, I'll just want to clarify a few of the points on this. Like substitute is not eliminate. Substitute is different and eliminate is different. Combine is different and modify is different. Modifying, you are modifying something which is already there inside the system, that is already there with you. Combining, you are combining something else out of the system. You are bringing in camera into the phone, which was not a part of the system. So you combine the camera to the phone and then it become a part of the system. While in modifying, you are minimizing, or like say laptop, you created a laptop because already there was a keyboard, already there was a screen, already there was a CPU, but you just minimize the space, you just shrunk it together and you created the laptop. So it was all there already, but you minimized it. So that is the difference between modifying and combining. Substitute, again, substitute is like if you are replacing something with something else. Eliminating is you are literally removing it out and using something that is already there in the system. So that is the difference between eliminating and substitute. So this is how, like, these are like this is how the Scamper technique is going to work. Again, I would say that there are, you in the left hand side below corner, you would see that there is a Scamper questions document. I have just collected it for you. It is just one set of guide for you. You can ask these questions. We cannot just open that and see every question through it, because in just substitute we can have 10-15 questions. So every keyword will have 10-15 questions to ask. So that input is for you, that guide is for you. You should go ahead, but then now onwards you will not feel the scarcity of the problems, or you will not feel the scarcity of the questions. So when you will be rich with the questions, you will definitely come up with new ideas. So that is the intent of the Scamper. Typically Scamper brings in new ideas for us. This is a very interesting example. I got it from net. So this innovation has all the Scamper techniques utilized in here. And now before going to this innovation, and let me tell you, there are a lot of such examples. Tata Nano is a best example, which is best built upon the technology of Scamper. You will see that a Nano has all the keywords utilized in there. McDonald's, we touched upon a couple of examples from there. McDonald's has done everything from Scamper. So there are lot many examples to talk about. Let's come to this. Let's just go quickly through this innovation, because this will give you a little more in-depth idea. what it means to be. This is a mini washing machine. Electrolux come in 2020. It is an innovation from Electrolux, and this is a mini washing machine. It is wall mounted. So now they are adapted this wall mounted technology. So it is wall mounted. Metal is plastic, so they have substituted the metal there. Plastic is the material. They have substituted metal for plastic in there. They are not using floor space, so they are eliminating complete body. They have eliminated complete body. It's like this machine, you can say, like from desktop to laptop, conversion of desktop to laptop. The size they have completely minimized. So then you have a portable casing. So you have substitute there. You are storing clothes in there when it is not in use. Reverse rearranging, we used to like connect tap to the washing machine. Now this washing machine is going to get mounted on the top tap, water tap or water inlet. It is going to get mounted, and this is completely reverse. We used to bring our water inlets to water washing machine. They are now taking washing machine towards the water inlets. So this is a very best example. It is completing almost all the Scamper mechanism. Those can be done. I just thought of like this will help you even better understand like products, how the products are evolving with this technology. So how you are going to do with this Scamper method, how you are going to utilize it. So there are like 3 steps you will follow with it. First is like examine the problem, understand the problem that you have been given, understand it completely, clearly define the problem, find out main issues, find out your functional requirements, find out the resources available for you, and if there is any present solution or product, just all these things you have to have somewhere documented for your back reference, because these are the points to which you are going to ask your questions, to which you are going to do Scamper with. So the next step is the Scamper. So you are going to ask all these questions to this underlying product or underlying problem, whatever is there with you. And once you are coming, it may happen that you will come up with say 10, 15, 20 ideas. Not every idea can go to the product. So now once you come up with ideas, review your ideas, and you can take it to the next tool, another tool, which will help you mature that idea, and which will help you to know if that idea can be taken towards the design, or we should like stop it here itself. So we will take it to the next level once you will come with the ideas. So what is the next tool that we can use it for that? So not necessarily. Now we are coming up to the second technology or a second technique, which is called 6 thinking hats. So 6 thinking hats is again very well used. It was first Edward de Bruno. He mentioned it in a book called Lateral Thinking for Management. So this technique has pre-decided set of rules to play. Like people will have their own rules decided. They will sit together and they will work it together. Okay, so Scamper is something that you can do all alone. You can every individual within the team can keep on doing. You may think that okay, you think about substitute, I will think about eliminate part. Someone would think about put to other part. So you can distribute it that way, but you can do it alone. And once you do it alone, you will come up with ideas. And once you come up with ideas all alone, then you take it to the 6 thinking hats technique, wherein you will put that idea in front of this people, in front of your team itself, and you will brainstorm. So in this technology or in this technique, you will have pre-decided set of rules to play, and those rules will have, once those rules are pre-decided, you will have a set of questions to go about, set of perspective to go about it. So what all those hats are like? There is a white hat, there is a black hat, a blue hat, red hat, yellow hat, and a green hat. Now every hat has its own specific role. Typically, typically the session or this activity should start with a blue hat and it will end with a blue hat. We'll see that in detail. Again, if when you start, it might happen that because every individual is different and every individual has different characteristics with it. So it might happen that someone is very introvert, so he may not feel suitable with red hat. So you can keep changing, you can change it. So in one go, in the first or second or third sitting, you will realize like who can use which hat. So maybe red hat should be given to someone who is completely extrovert. He can express himself, and that is quite quickly. Just to mention here, again, the weightage or value of this technique, there are, I have just mentioned few of the organizations, those are using it. There is NASA, IBM, ABB, Microsoft, British Airways. There are a lot many big players in the market. They are utilizing this technique. So what all these hats are meant for? We'll just go now in details of every hat. So typically, whoever is going to discuss his idea with the team should wear the blue hat, because now he knows what is his idea is about and what he wants to do with that idea, how he wants to drive that idea. So he can be a blue hat there. So he will start and end the discussion. He will be in a managerial role. He will define the problem for the team. He will explain everything. What was the problem? How his idea came up. He will define and do everything background work for the team, and he will manage the time for everyone. He will control the flow of ideas while in discussion. Then there is a white hat. So white hat's role would be, his role is like be neutral and just be stick to the facts and figures. So he will keep on collecting facts and figures about the while in discussion, or he may ask for the facts and figure while discussion to other individuals. So his role is to stick to about the data only. He will bring forth some logical information, but that will be in terms of data. That should be based on some information about the data only. So that is what white hat is going to do in the discussion. Red hat is a complete emotional person. He will express it emotionally, and he will be completely intuitive. He will speak out his heart. So whenever you express a problem here, whenever a idea has been thrown to the team, thrown to the group, he should be the first person to speak about it, because then afterwards he will become a judgmental. Once the data starts coming in, when you start discussing, he will start unknowingly, unconsciously, but he will start judging the data. So better, maybe red hat should get to discuss, your red hat should get to express himself immediately about the idea after the blue hat talks. So not necessarily every time, but I'm just telling you, there are strategies for every set of problem, how we can go about it. So typically red hat gets early to talk. Then there are three major hats which are going to play a big role in all this discussion: a black hat, a yellow hat, and a green hat. Black hat has to be a pessimistic approach. He has to keep a pessimistic approach. He will just keep on looking at where all we can fail, what all the drawbacks, what all the limitations, what all the potential risks for this. So he will be constantly noting it down, while yellow hat will be collecting the information about how this is beneficial, how it can be successful, what all like potential opportunities for it, any feasibility of this idea. He will completely keep on thinking on that. He will come up with those points for the discussion. And the green hat role would be like, he will be creative thinker. He will take that idea to next level. He will constantly think about what I can build on top of this idea. So can I extend it to some next level? So his inputs would be in that fashion. So these are the 6 defined roles that you will be having within your team. You will discuss your own idea. The main advantage of having this role decided is like no one will get hurt his or her ego. Now there is no one who is going to demean any other individual. No, but then there is defined role for him. He has to speak in that the pessimistic approach. So there is nothing to get disturbed, or nothing to like get our ego hurt. So this is best thing in that. And collectively, once all the discussions are over, collect blue hat will collect all this information. Even he can be with the help of white hat, they can put it together. You even all of you can sit together, discuss about the limitations that you have found out. Maybe you would want to go a second round, like changing the hats. Now someone else wants to come up with even better pessimistic approach. He would have some additional limitations that were not found out in first round. So you can go in second iteration as well. So after all this, when you come up with this all list, you will analyze, keeping in mind the problem statement. Maybe like say there is a limitation that a motor, this motor will not work after say 5000 rpm. If it is running for 5000 rpm, it will stop working. So this can be a limitation, but then we have to keep it in the domain of the problem only. Whether my motor is going to get rotate that fast. If it is like maximum is 1000 rpm is what we can expect, we can very well accept this 5000 rpm limitation. So that's how you are going to take a decision. You may, we never know, like say there can be case like for an Android, if we are executing 50 thoughts, uh, can we mute everyone else? Yeah, okay, thank you. So there may be like say case like when we are executing Android on our phone, and if we start uh, having 50 applications running background, and mobile phone could crash, and this could be a real scenario. This could be a background data that Android developers would have with them. But will it really matter? Is like they would have come ahead with this because no one would have 50 tasks or 50 applications executing at the same time. And again you can take a decision for a limitation, like what is the impact of that would happen. Suppose say if mobile phone crashes, will it crashes forever or will it just reset and comes back? Fine. So then also you can take a decision like, okay, this if this is happening, then it is again a safe. So this way, I have tried keeping everything with some examples so that you can utilize it to your problem, and you can find out or you can mature your idea uh, through your iterations. So these are the pre-designed set of rules for you. There are many ideation techniques. This is kept for your further reading. Like what is trees, what is brainstorming, crazy. It's I have just mentioned 7 8 techniques in here. There are many more there, but this is for your further reading that we want you to do maybe after problem statement. Specifically, two techniques have been identified because those are very close to what you are facing right now. Those will keep you moving. Many more techniques, many more information may take your time on deciding like which tool I can use or which tool I should be using. So that will like that dilemma we don't want to do. So just go with couple of ideas or couple of techniques that we discussed so far, and this is something that you can do uh, after your projects or whenever you want to explore yourself more. Then we come to a situation. Now we have many more set of questions with us. We have many more ideas identified. We have out of those many more ideas, we have matured few of the ideas, and with the help of those ideas we have come up with solutions. So I would have say 4 5 solution approaches for me, and so far we haven't done anywhere quantitative analysis of those. So solution approaches those have come across, we have just noted down. So I can have this approach, I can have this approach. We have it noted down. We haven't done anywhere anything about quantitatively analyzing with it. So one statement you should just remember from last webinar, like say Agashi sir and Mahesh sir has told you that there is no option of failure when you go in corporate. No product is allowed to fail. So how that can be uh, how that can be done, how that can be taken further, like how it can be ensured that we cannot fail, the product should not fail, how that can be ensured. So for that reason, this set of tools are devised. We can evaluate everything at every set of point, every checkpoint, and we will be moving further. So we have come to a point wherein we have now identified four five solution approaches, and now we want to quantify them, we want to analyze them, if which is the best out of it. So here you can see a Pooh matrix. This was named after this the person who devised it. His name was Pooh. So the Pooh matrix is a part of DFSs. So in DFSs it is widely used. So what it is talk about. So first column you would say that there is measures and factors they are talking about. I have purposely picked it up from some financial domain so that you shouldn't get biased with data that is there on the slide. So you will have your own data while you will be doing it. So measures and factors would come from your categorized requirements. So you will have your requirements categorized, and those categorized requirement will come in here. So there can be cost, there can be some functional requirements, there can be some security, safety, there can be n number of things that will come on the first column. So after that, you will have your importance rating. So weightages, you should give weightages there. So you might have, like, your problem would say that we want to save the costs. Cost is the major problem right now we are facing with. So cost should have the biggest weightage in that. So we should have putting a value for 1 to 9 value there. So cost may go with a weightage of 9. Some smaller features, addition of some displaying some parameters might go from, like, say 2 to 3. It depends, like it depends again what solution we are running out, like what solution we are running after. So that way we will put ratings in there. We can rate baseline product as well. So existing product, if it is there, we can rate it, and then we will have our solution approach 1, solution approach 2. Like here they are mentioned option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So once this table is ready, now start taking your approach and start filling in here. You will fill plus for whatever you are adding to it. So if you are adding a value to that particular category, you say plus there. If you have kept it as it is the same as before, you keep a same s there. If that solution is giving some limitation in this feature, that we are proposing solution which may increase the cost, so you may have to add in minus in there. So add all this information in your table for all the approaches. Keep on doing that till you have complete approaches filled in. Then you will go below. You will add all the plus, you will add all the minus, you will add all the sames. And after that, you will have weighted sums. So whatever plus you have seen in here, it has a weightage. So for the case like here, hard dollar savings, it has importance ratings of 7. And for option 2, if it is a plus, then that means that 1 plus is 7, with value of 7. 1 into 7, it is a value of 7. And then that way you will add it. So then you will realize what is the biggest sum, biggest highest score, which solution is coming up with, which solution is coming up with lowest minus, like say weightages for minus, considering weightages for minuses, which is the solution that is coming up with it. And then you will be deciding, this is the point where you are going to decide which is the best solution for me to take ahead from here. Here you have reached to a point that you will take this solution for your next stage of implementation. So these are the 3 techniques, from requirements to design and to complete the design, like finalizing the design. These 3 techniques would help you to take validated validated decisions. So this is about the POO matrix. Sorry. Yeah, and then just few points to ponder upon before we close up for this session. There are some points you will need to understand when you are writing requirements. Requirements have certain attributes to it. So requirement cannot be an ambiguous. Ambiguous means you cannot say that, see that, you cannot have a statement that there should be good amount of bandwidth available. So there is nothing good and bad. There is nothing high and low. There is nothing comparative statement in there. You will have like this system will need 5 Mbps, 10 Mbps of speed of bandwidth. There should be very specific requirement. This will help you in your design. When you write an ambiguous statement in your requirement, you will be in problem while you will be doing design. So this at the time of requirement itself, it should be unambiguous. It should be consistent. So at one place, maybe you will say for transacting between customer and machine, 2 Mbps is the speed is needed, and for machine to like discuss with another component within the system or to the cloud, 10 Mbps speed is needed. So then it become inconsistent. It will be consistent only if you are talking about two different set of networks. But if you are talking about one single network, then 10 Mbps and 2 Mbps could create a problem for you. So you will have to state it clearly that this system will need a 10 Mbps speed, which will cover the customer interaction as well as connecting it to the cloud. So that way it will remain consistent. Complete, you understand with complete. It should be singular. Typically, you don't use if, but, because if you use the word if in your requirement, you are creating loopholes. It will work only if this is there. Then there is a loophole. So you try and avoid if and any conjunctions that you can see. You don't do that. You try and see how you are going to, whenever you are writing requirement, you try and visualize like how you are going to verify this requirement. And your requirement should be traceable always. So it should not happen that you have written a requirement in your requirement document, but it has got lost in there. It is not traced to the design. So every time you think about a design, your requirement should get traced to the design. So that is how your requirement completeness and all the requirement attributes you can check about. Second thing is like understand end-to-end system. It is not just a person going to a specific machine talking to that machine. It has lot many background processes running. There is a background system executing. Something else is come to that machine. So if you go to a shop, Bania shop, you are buying some items from Bania shop, but it is not the system just like you are talking to Bania shop and Bania shop is giving you some items. It is like loading with lot of material. It is coming to him, the unloading of it. So say logistics is coming in picture. So this all is a part of your system. This is all is part of your problem. So understand that problem, understand that end-to-end process. So it is like say if you are told like there is a customer requirement to increase of fuel efficiency of by 10%. So you need not, if you understand the complete system, you will look after all the aspects. If not, then you will go to engine only and you will keep research on engine, fine tuning the engine for more fuel efficiency, but fuel efficiency is definitely part of engine, but not only part of engine. Fuel efficiency is the weight, the material that car is been used. So weight of the car, but material that is used for the car, shape of the car. So how the aerodynamics is going to work on the car. So that aerodynamics is going to affect the fuel efficiency. So that is where we are. So when the fuel efficiency requirement comes in, we can even start about the thinking about the aerodynamics. We should start thinking about the tire designs. So how this tire should be there, how the tire, the width of the tire, how much width of the tire should be there, how much pressure in the tire should be there. So all these factors are going to be part of the fuel efficiency. This will complete your system thinking, and this will complete your solution as well. You can find out solution from some other part of the system for problem for some other part of a system. So that is there. Then very interesting part is customer requirements and customer expectations. So this is where you are going to make a difference in your design. Customer requirements and customer expectations are different. Customer expectations cannot be documented. You cannot document like how a person will feel when he touches the phone first time. So that glossiness, you cannot document it. Like this should be his feeling. The feelings cannot be documented. You cannot document like if you go for in a car showroom and you get inside a new car. What will be your feeling? That feeling, that wow factor cannot be documented. But this has to be like, for that we should understand the customer completely, and then only we can bring in that factor. So then customer expectation can be bring in, and your design can stand apart from. So at least you know that like 5 to 6 teams are there in every group. So in within every group you are working for a same project. So how you are going to different from some other project, because everyone will come with same solution. So how your solution will be different? So there you can add some wow factor, thinking about some customer expectations, like how you will feel. And before just closing that, I just want to put in one thought of wild thinking. It is like thinking out of the world. Don't accept any constraints which are not explicitly told you. There is no statement that is saying that this vending machine, suppose say it is vending machine should be like 5 feet by 6 feet by 7 feet size. There is no constraint on that. No one has quoted it for you. You can come out with any sort of design, but keeping in mind what solution we are looking at. So why can't we, like say, this is completely out of the box thought, and it should be, again we have to take it to 6 thinking ads and then we can go ahead. But then there should be a wild thought it should come up with. So just for an example, like say, why can't we have an elephant shaped vending machine? So the body, transparent body, showing all the materials, all the products inside the vending machine. On the ear side, you will like, so now this is where we are moving customer from one step to another. The distance, social distancing is achieved. So the person moves to the ear side. On the ear side, he will do his digital transaction without touching it. On the trunk side, so trunk is moving trunk, and within the trunk there is a conveyor belt. So on the moving trunk, you will move ahead. So you are moving, you are keeping social distance. And when you take your hand below the trunk, just like a Jaguar faucet taps, you go take your hand below, the water starts moving. So if you bring your hand below the trunk, the conveyor belt inside the trunk that is moving will bring the packet that you have chosen for you. So this is now there again, there are limitations with it. There is a size problem. There can be any other things to associated with it. But this is what we want to see, that we can have, if we can have some wild thinking about it. If you move it to something moving elephant, you are directly enforcing kids to come near you. You are directly enforcing the parents to pay for it, because then your vending machine will not be just one rectangular box kept in the corner of a room, but it will be like calling up people near to it. So it will increase definitely business. So just give this kind of thoughts. Just this was just a wild thought that came to my mind. But this kind of thinking should happen. That was the intent of this seminar. Yeah, so that is what, like say, I would say, like, thanks everyone for patient listening. That is what I want to convey. The intent was to tell you what you are going to learn through this Olympiad, and those were like tools. It's like just like we don't remember the problems that we solved for Pythagoras theorem to understand, or for the Newton's laws to understand, but we remember Newton's law, we remember Pythagoras theorems today as well. It is just because those are the core things. For that we solve the problem. This is again the same thing. You should understand what you are going to, what is the output and what is the outcome. So output is what the project that you are going to do, and outcome will be the core thing, core technologies, the project execution part, that or this kind of technologies that you learn, this is the outcome that you are going to take away with you, which you can utilize in every field in your life. So I think, yeah, that's it from my side.
Yes, Malhar. Thank you so much. I'm sure it's absolutely a wonderful presentation, and students must have got a very good idea and hold on how to think actually. And all the time, all the mentors are insisting on this particular thing because we have found that this is missing. I'll now keep this session open for questions. We'll take few questions,
Yeah.
and then you can answer those questions, and any mentor who wants to add something will be free to answer. All right.
Yeah.
Uh, there are few questions which are asked privately. Let me answer those first. The first thing is this entire presentation with Malhar's permission, of course, and the recording. Mahesh, you can endorse and confirm this. The YouTube video also. We will put it on the portal, and the presentation will also be available on portal. Mandar, am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, YouTube is already available. Same link will update on the portal, Intake Olympiad portal.
All right. So what we can do actually is we can put everything there, and it would be available to all the participants. All right. Yeah. There is a question from Anusha. I'll just ask her to unmute and ask this question directly. Anusha. One second. Malhar, there is one more question. This question is from a group of students. They are asking, we have gone some steps ahead, and will it be an issue if we start applying this technique and we will come out with some new things, and then certain things will not be there which we have proposed before? What would happen? Yeah.
So there are two things that will help you in there. So whatever stage you have gone ahead, just take that stage back to these tools. You may not have to go to Scamper. You may or may not have to go to. It depends upon what stage you have reached to. But if you have reached to, like, say, like consolidated the design, bring it to at least to the POO matrix. You will realize at least you are satisfying all the requirements or not. So it will help you in that way. Additionally, when you are looking at it in different perspective, you can add in value to the existing solution. With that perspective, you can keep in mind, like, this is like, say, you have evaluated different designs and you have reached to one point. Then you can keeping that thing in your mind. Can you add something to your existing design with this Scamper method? So you would have thought of five points or 5 bullet points in your design. Can you think about something about problem, power? So can you add some power saving techniques to your existing solution? So it will add value to whatever stage you are. And again, like, say, it is all up to your discretion. You are going to decide it better because you know how you have reached to that point. So you might have thought about the power savings as well. So take a wise call in there. See how much time is left with you. But definitely, these tools will add value to you if you utilize it. And if you feel like you have thought and you have reached to something and you are not feeling confident to come back, so then we will say that then there is a cautious call. Don't then think about it.
Yeah. Any other question? Malhar, from the chat, you can get a question from Aswin.
Yes, I'll
this POO matrix is a little difficult to understand what he is talking about.
Okay.
Could you please brief it once again? So maybe some thought on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, what is a Pooh matrix all about is it is specifically used to compare the designs, compare the ideas. So you might have multiple ideas, multiple solutions for same set of questions. It might happen that because so far you haven't done any comparative study, you have done your research for the problem solution, but you haven't done anywhere a comparative research so far. So here is a point wherein you will do a specific comparative analysis of the existing approaches. So if you have got two approaches to go about, how you will decide which one is better? Which one is better? Like said, you want to. If I have to take a very small example about like deciding suppose some temperature sensor. Now this Pooh matrix is not meant for taking a decision on a temperature sensor, but I am just taking it because so that we can understand it very better. So if I am going to evaluate my temperature sensor, I will have some thermistor and thermocouple and some other many more sensors on there. So some bimetallic sensors. So when you write in those options in these columns, now let us take it to the from the first column. So in the first column you have certain set of requirements from this temperature sensor. One is would be like a range, in what range I'm going to operate. Another would be like my this thing cost. Another would be like what would happen, say safety. So if it goes beyond this, so what is the safety part is there, sensitivity, what resolution I want to use it. So all these factors would be there in your measures or CTQs. CTQ is meant like critical to quality. So CTQs or major factors there, and then you will have your importance ratings on that column. So you will rate that every column, every row that you have added in here. Say for sensitivity, you have this much of rating because you need quite sensitive sensor there, because you are going to work in very small range of temperature. So you need a good sensitive temperature sensor. So you might weight it high there in the importance rating. So cost wise, you are not worried about the cost because all the sensors are coming in plus minus suppose say 10 20% amount of ranges. You are least bothered about it because the cost is taken care by some other elements in the system. So the importance for you is the best sensitivity. Importance for you would be the range that it is working in, because that range cannot be exceeded. It should be working in that range perfectly. So then there will be that, in that way you will have your weightages given in there, ratings given in there, and then you will start putting up your plus or minus. If you feel plus is confusing, you can work in place of plus you can say 1. In case of minus you can say -1. In case of S you can say just a 0. So 1 minus, that way also in even Pooh matrix are generated. So 1 -1 and 0. So you will count this plus. So sum of plus you would say in here. So we'll just go option 2. There are 7 plus in there, and those 7 plus with each plus is having. So the first, let me take the pointer. So here is the first plus there. So with this plus, it has a weightage of 7. So it becomes, the value of this plus becomes 7. Whereas for this plus, value is 1. So with weightage of 1, value of this value for this major or CTQ or a requirement, it becomes just 1. So this 7 plus this one becomes 8. So this plus 2 pluses will bring it as a 8 as a value. So same way you will have all the plus calculated, same way you will have minuses calculated, same way you have sames calculated, and that is how you are going to get this 29 as a value, this 24 as a value, calculated value. So 7 with 7 pluses and with individual weightages, it becomes 29. Again with same with minuses, again same with for another approach, it is 24, 35, 36. These values are coming with weightage calculations, and then that will help you to decide which approach is giving us a good weightage, which approach is well suited, and which approach we can take it further. So the negative ones which are coming up for the best approach, you can analyze again, because those would be very less, or those will be small in number. You analyze it again and take a decision. Okay, can we go ahead with this negative? Because there will be some pros and cons for every design, and definitely that has been that has to be taken care. So you can take a call at that point of time. So this much of weightage it is coming up with positive, and this is what I am going to get it as a negative. What all negative points are there? These are the negative points which are very low in weightage. I can go ahead with it. So that's how this PO matrix is going to help you out.
Malhar,
Yeah.
maybe other mentors also can pitch in, because this question is related to as the technology the students are planning to use. Now this is a question from one of the academic mentor actually. She has recently joined, and she is very, very positive as far as this entire Intech Olympiad is concerned from South. So the question is, the technology the students are planning to use is not known to them fully, because these are second year, third year, fourth year students. They are guessing that all the requirements will be satisfied. That's what is their guess initially. Now,
Right.
how to resolve that actually? See, the
Correct.
student, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
So that is where we will be coming back. Let me go back to presentation mode. Yeah. So that is where we are going back to the Scamper or six thinking hats methods, wherein suppose they have already set of requirements. So if those set of requirements are really going to, or they have a set of requirements for that, they have a set of solutions thought about it. So are those set of thought of designs or solutions going to meet the solution? We have to go through six thinking hats. If they don't have the requirement, we take it to six thinking hats. With six thinking hats, the analysis will happen, and they will take it to the then they will take it to the system. They will add it to their system solution or approach, and that system approach they will evaluate in there. Now suppose they have idea already identified, they need not have to go to Scamper, but they can go to six thinking hats. So idea need not have to come from Scamper only or alone. So there can be possibility that they can come through their own thinkings, their own thoughts. So they have come up with ideas for the requirements, but the requirements are the questions to them. So requirements, in other words, requirements have to be satisfied. Requirements are there; those are to be satisfied. How is the question? That question is like this linkage is going to give us. So how those requirements can be satisfied? There can be multiple ways. There can be multiple ideas. There can be multiple designs, and then we are utilizing such tools which will help us to take the best approach ahead.
Yeah. Malhar, that's wonderful. See, the point here is all the time we are putting requirement as such, and we are expecting students to think, and that's the reason you come out with your idea, your mentors would finally, they are going to judge and assess those ideas, and the feedback would come to you for sure from each mentor, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then there is a choice for you to change after the discussion and deliberation within the group. That's what we wanted it to happen actually. All right.
Yeah.
And one more question which a student is asking is about the can we have this small scale requirement set as like used as a model, or we need to use directly a large scale requirements? See, the point here is whether it is a large scale or a small scale, whatever you have considered as a requirement for your solution, you should satisfy that. Am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that is, in other way, that is the problem statement.
Correct. That's perfectly all right.
Yeah.
I think, is there any question, any other question? We have answered all the questions, and with a promise from all the mentors, on behalf of all the mentors, that please try using these techniques, because these techniques are very useful techniques in implementing your project and refining your thought process. Right?
Sudhir, may I add something to this?
Please go ahead.
So Malhar brought out a very good point, and I think you commented on it. See, basically, after this webinar, some of the students might be thinking is to how to distinguish between a requirement and ideation, right? Because, and then there's a design thinking, right? So it is very important for all of us to understand that requirements are requirement, as Malhar put it, that when he gave that elephant example, that when basically requirements say what we need, right? So requirements at sometimes are very kind of clear. Okay, we want this device to be so compact that it must fit in the wallet, it must fit it in your pocket. So there are requirements, right? However, basically requirements just limit there, right? After that, the ideation starts, or design thinking starts, where how can we basically be creative to make sure that we don't miss out on the constraint of the requirement and still make it happen. Many a times we also need to challenge the requirement, going in the why aspect of that requirement, because many a times what happens, as Malhar also put in some of the examples, saying that this wow factor cannot be put in a document, right? Actually, wow factor comes in only when customer or the user uses your product. So basically, it is very important, if your creative had things that ideation can bring in this wow factor, you need to first understand the constraint which is objecting this creative idea. Why is that constraint put in a place, right? Actually, so if we are justified, many times it might happen that the person for whom we are building a product, right, they may have not thought about this creative way of putting this thing together, right? That classic elephant example, or portable or mini washing machine, where they might really want to understand this constraint that we have put in for a product, right? Is it a really valid constraint? And they may take off that constraint, hence allowing that creative idea to flow in, basically. So that's where there is a subtle difference to negotiate between requirements and ideas, right?
Exactly.
Yes, Mahesh.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mahesh. And one more most important aspect, and I wish to tell you to all my participants, is basically you are being given 2 months. Now we do not expect a miracle to happen, right? And that's the reason. What is important is clearing and confining, or making sure that your thought process is absolutely clear, and you have come out with some idea which is matching the requirements which you have posed for. That's what we are expecting. It is not that you should come out on the last day with the product. That's not expected. Please understand. We will continue working. That's not the end of it. All right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And one point, like say we discussed about this, like traceability. So requirement, when we discuss traceability, is very important. When we have a requirement driven from the problem, it should get traced towards the problem, as well as it is called as backward traceability and forward traceability. So the requirement should have a traceability towards problem. So requirement will be like saying that yes, I am there because there is a reason. it is asking, like the problem has asked, and that's why this requirement is there. And then it has to get forward traceable, like the design is saying that yes, I have satisfied this requirement. So the design should have all the requirements traced to it.
Yes, Mandar, this is perfectly all right. And I hope we have answered all the questions. And even if there are questions, we are ready to answer them through the portal, through the discussion forum, what you have. Please talk to your mentors. And of course, Malhar would be more than happy to answer if at all there are questions based on this. Lastly, I thank Malhar for a wonderful webinar and thank all my participants. Sunday 12 noon is the right time, it seems. Let's continue working on many aspects of the project. Thank you so much. And let's end this meeting. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you everyone for taking the time.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.